Good afternoon. My name is Graham Cruikshank. I'm the CTIO at CPI, and I'd like to offer you a very short talk today, which I hope will help you prepare to innovate, help to prepare yourself as you go into the upcoming events in the Innovation Festival of the North, which is an extremely exciting time. Because innovation is a fantastic opportunity for all of us. And it's probably one that's being asked of you by your boss. I can see them right now saying, go away and innovate, bring me back innovation. But what actually is that? It's not problem solving per se, but it does involve solving the right problems. So firstly, working out what problems need to be solved really, and then working out what solutions are really appropriate for those problems. Many of you will have heard of this magic world of the what's needed with what's possible. Many people can tell you what's needed, but it's unrealistic. And many people can tell you what's possible, but it's unneeded. And in fact, part of our job in life is to find the best match between those two so that we bring the right solutions to the right problems to add value. Now that's easier said than done because it requires multiple types of thinking, both creative and logical thinking. And whilst an individual can switch their head from a creative divergent mode to a logical convergent mode, it's quite difficult. And it usually requires someone to remind us to do it, a facilitator. So for instance, during sessions over the next few days, you will experience facilitators guiding you through that mental switch in your head, and or using others in the room who have a different thinking style to you. And bear that in mind. If you're a divergent creative thinker, don't be frustrated by the other people who keep wanting to converge and bring us into a point. If you're a convergent thinker, don't get too frustrated with those who are looking to diverge and come up with other possibilities that might be even better. The chances are both of you are right. We need to get both of those inputs on the table because we need to use all the knowledge in the room and all the stimulation that's available to us to be as creative as possible. How do you develop your own creativity? Be curious. Ask questions. The more questions you ask, the more knowledge you'll gather. The more knowledge you have, the more value you will be in the world of collaboration. Because at the end of the day, we all have to solve really difficult problems like this one. Join these 9 dots with 4 straight lines with this imaginary pen, which is probably your finger that you're putting up to the screen right now. Don't lift your finger from the screen. I know it's going to smudge. And join up the 9 dots. And you're going to go across and up and across. Oh, you've missed the one in the middle. You're going to go down, up, across. Oh, you've missed the one at the bottom. How do you do it, Graham? Well, it's quite straightforward, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Graham, you've just cheated. How have I cheated? You went outside of the box. Yes, this is the quite literal demonstration of thinking outside of the box is valuable. I didn't tell you you couldn't go outside the box. All I said was join these dots up. Your brain made a shortcut that said, I'm going to put a boundary condition in that's going to make it easier for me to find a solution. Inherently, we always look for a faster way to get to a solution. By imposing that boundary condition, we stopped ourselves from finding the solution. It's okay, great, do it again, do it with 3 this time. But what did I say before? Use previous knowledge. 1, 2, 3. The previous knowledge was go outside the box of the 9 dots. But the bit that we fell foul of again was I didn't say it had to be through the middle of the dots, because I can see some of you sitting there getting really cross. Why didn't you through the middle of the dots, Graham? Because I didn't need to. And by going through the middle of the dots stopped me solving the problem. So in fact, challenge boundary conditions whenever you're in a problem-solving situation where you're trying to come up with an innovative solution. What must stay there and what can move? Because as humans, we're great at solving problems because we've got brains, and our brains are great at transforming chaos into something that makes sense. That's good, but do be careful. Our brains are often a barrier to us as well because they like to make a decision quickly and stick with it. We don't like changing our mind. That means we can sometimes be blinded to other solutions. We're not naturally trained to stop and step back and understand other possibilities before we dive in. We like to dive in. That's a watch out for us. Why? Because we are inherently efficient or lazy, because we like to use established routes or thought processes to solve a problem. So we're often blinded to the new or the non-obvious. We want to constantly reapply things that we've done before. That's a watch out. So be aware of that as you go into these innovation sessions. Because in reality, and I'm not going to labour this, solving the right problems depends on knowing what the right problem to fix is in the first part. So many people develop divergent and convergent multi-step processes that are usually facilitated. Yes, that's the sort of thing we're going to go through now, where we focus on, hang on, I think my problem is, or I think my opportunity is, but After a whole period of work, what I'll learn is the real problem I was trying to solve was this. Then reapply all the same thinking styles of divergence and convergence to come back to, and my real problem is solved. That is how innovation will happen in this group dynamic. And in fact, just to prove it, I haven't contravened any GDPR regulations, but I've asked for everybody's photograph who's joined today's session, and you can see yourself here. I'm sure you can identify yourself quite quickly. So can I ask you to find that photograph, and then with your eyes, can I ask you to move to the closest woman photograph to yourself? Then from that photograph, can I ask you to go up or down the column to find the photograph of the person with facial hair? Once there, can you go left or right along the row to find the person with a tie? Once you've found a person with a tie, can I ask you to drop down and find the photograph of someone with a hat? And isn't it amazing? Because we've all come into this call as different people with different backgrounds, and yet we're all now Clint Eastwood. Yes, we're all now Clint Eastwood, and that's the problem in group work. We don't want group think. We're brought in because we're different. We want to stay different. We want different insights and different inputs. That's what will give us a solution. If we all get suckered into behaving as the same person, in this case Clint Eastwood, we won't provide an innovative solution. You're all now thinking, how did he get me to be Clint Eastwood? I'm not going to tell you. That's the magic of the talk. Have a fantastic time. You're now ready to innovate. Keep your mind open, engage, be proactive, bring your best self, bring your knowledge, be positive, go with divergence and convergence, be open to new solutions, and you will make a difference. Thank you all and good luck.